So who did Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said that Tupac told him to shoot at the Soul Train Music Awards? Was it Biggie? Was it C. Gutter? Or was it Keefy D? Because he told 3 different stories, ladies and gentlemen, in relation to this one situation, in which Suge Knight called him a Judas for calling the police on him. Oh yeah, y'all might want to pass this one around the world. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Black chat. Life is like those cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, please. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a bombshell for y'all today. Man, I'm going to show you something that I don't think you really paid attention to, but I'm going to show it to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is now over on Vlad. And he recently just did a video in where he said that Tupac grabbed his arm and told him to shoot Biggie's friend, C. Gutter. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you that that's not true. C. Gutter in the video even says that it's not true. But before I go there, I'm going to give you the first story that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. told about that, so I can bring you back around to the story that he's telling now. I'm going to take you to the first story and how he told it, give you the second story and how he told it, and then I'm going to give you the third story in which he's telling now on Vlad. Ladies and gentlemen, this first one is titled Reggie Wright, The Truth About Tupac Biggie Confrontation at the Soul Train Music Awards. Listen.
Were you aware that the Southside Crips were providing security for Bad Boy when they would go out to California? Like, was that known knowledge with you guys?
Oh yeah, we knew that. We Soul Train Music Awards. What was that, March? In March of '96 or something. We ran into that. There was an incident that they tried to put in where I pulled the gun on Biggie's gun. It was actually EPD from the Southside Crips that I knew that I put a gun on that took off and ran. And, get up under the car, got up under the car and hit. But one thing I always gave Biggie credit for, and we always laughed and said that's because he couldn't move, but I always said, no, that nigga had a little bit of gut. He didn't move, he just stood there. And, Suge was always, but the nigga was too fat, he couldn't move, and he couldn't run, he didn't nowhere. But yeah, we was really worried about him.
So at that Soul Train thing, though, Keefy D pulled a gun on you guys?
He had a gun. He never pointed it. That's why he's still here today.
Okay, he just showed that he had one.
He showed that he had one. And that's when I kept telling him, hey, don't raise that gun. Don't raise that gun. And then he kept it pointed down, then he just took off and ran. And that's when Pop was ended up, shoot him.
Oh, that's what Pop was screaming?
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. say out of his mouth that people had thought that I had pulled the gun on Biggie, right? When it was actually on Keefy D, right? And he alluded to Keefy D having a gun and him pulling out and telling Keefy D, you better not grab for it, or you better not grab for it, or something of that nature. Basically saying that Keefy D was with Biggie and them that night at the Soul Train Music Awards. You heard him say it. Listen.
There was an incident that they tried to put in where I pulled the gun on Biggie's gun. It was actually EPD from the Southside Crips that I knew that I put a gun on that took off and ran. And
now, that particular video was done 9 years ago. 9 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to understand that. So, let's go up. I'm going to show you how Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. embellishes, lies, and just straight out tells stories that are not true and exaggerates. Let me say this. Tupac didn't tell Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. to shoot nobody. Tupac didn't do no such thing. But let me take you to this second video, right? Which I'm just going to show you the title. I'm going to show you the title. I don't have to even take you through all of what he's saying, because sometimes that's just like a waste of time, if you will. But I needed to give you the first part because it was very poignant as to the first story he told 9 years ago, right? He mentions nothing about Biggie's homeboy, or he mentions nothing about, Tupac telling him to shoot Biggie at that particular time. Notice he says nothing about that. You ready? So now, in this second video, look at the title. What does it say? When Tupac told me to shoot Biggie, basically alluding to Tupac telling Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., allegedly telling Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. to shoot Biggie. Now, this video right here was just done recently. As you see the date at the bottom of the screenshot, if you will, right? Correct? So now it's Biggie. It's no longer Keefy D. Right? First he said it was Biggie that and Keefy D ran and all of this, that, and the other, right? Keefy D at first hit the gun, you better not pull it, and all of these things, right? Now it's Tupac told him to shoot Biggie. Tupac didn't tell Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. nothing. He is a bald-faced liar. Oh, you want me to show you the other part now, right? Okay. This is just today. Today. I'm gonna bring you closer to the action. This is today on Vlad. Now he's telling a whole nother story in relation to the same identical incident, but not identical, but the same incident, right? Not at a different time, but at the same time. Now he's saying that Tupac told him to shoot Biggie's friend C. Gutter. And the cold part about this, Vlad actually plays a clip after this, in this video of C. Gutter, because I think Vlad interviewed C. Gutter. Well, C. Gutter's talking about it, right? And C. Gutter saying nothing about Tupac saying, oh, shoot him or anything like that. C. Gutter did admit that he pulled out the burner, meaning the weapon, right? Because he wasn't really sure, and he said it was him, Little C's, Biggie, and some other security guard guy. And C. Gutter said he pulled out the weapon because he didn't know what was going down. He was like, I seen a bunch of dudes with burgundy hoodies. See those dudes with the burgundy hoodies? Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. on that particular night called the police and told the police not to let those guys into the Soul Train Music Awards. Once again, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. was working counter and against his own boss, Suge Knight. Unilaterally deciding to call the police, not inform Suge, not go ask him, hey, you know what, man, I don't think it'd be a good idea to bring all of these guys in here. No, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. unilaterally decided, just like he unilaterally decided to pull the security off of Tupac in Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, there are 3 different stories being told about the same incident. And each and every time Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. tells it, what does he do? He embellishes more. In this new one with Vlad, he's saying Tupac grabbed his arm and tried to, take the gun away from him and shoot him, Reg. At the first time, he said nothing about that. It was Keefy D who had the gun, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't C Gutter, right? Now all of a sudden, and he mentioned nothing about Tupac trying to grab the gun away from him or point the gun at anybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you with every intelligent bone in my body, right, that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is a liar. He has lied so many times, you can't believe what he's saying. I'm giving you the information, not what I'm saying about, you know, somebody just say, oh yeah, he lying, and they don't offer you any proof. I'm giving you the proof right here. This is 3 different stories. The truth about what happened in Tupac and Biggie confrontation at the Soul Train Music Award. It was Keefy D with the gun and blah, blah, blah. He ran and I pulled the gun up and told him, don't you pull that. Don't you pull that. Right? It wasn't Keefy D. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. lied. Okay. Now we move forward. Just recently on Bums First. Now it's Tupac telling Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. about the same incident to now shoot Biggie. Shoot him, Reg. In which he says nothing about Tupac trying to grab his hand or nothing like that in that fictional fairy tale. Then the latest one on Vlad, now he etches it up a notch. Right? Now he's sure that it's C Gutter now. He didn't know. He didn't know. He's lying. He's lying. And it's sad. As you can see, he told 3 different stories. Not to say that he wasn't there, but what he's saying that happened involving Tupac Shakur telling him to shoot anybody is a lie. And he's saying, oh, you know, y'all put a halo on Tupac. I ain't gonna put no halo on Tupac. No, of course you're not. You put a death sentence on him by pulling the security off him in Las Vegas. It's simple as that. I told you he was criminally negligent in the death of Tupac Shakur. He deliberately sabotaged Tupac's security apparatus. It's serious. It's very serious. And now, once again, when Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. started speaking out, right, he would lie and just lie and try to make himself an integral part of each of these stories that he was telling. And if he wasn't trying to make himself an integral part, he was trying to appear to have firsthand knowledge or be right next to the person who told him, oh yeah, you know, they told me, I told y'all that story about Suge. I told y'all that story here first on Born First. Now Suge telling him, ha 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 ha, right? But now Suge is able to speak out. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has grown more angry, more disenchanted with Suge Knight from that perspective. But you have it here. The story in relation to Tupac telling somebody to shoot somebody, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. to do anything of that nature is pure fiction. It is fiction. It did not happen. You see it. It's 3 different stories, 3 different titles for a video. First, it's the truth. Now it's Biggie. You know, Tupac told him shoot Biggie. Now Tupac told him shoot Biggie's friend C Gutter. But first it was Keefy D. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been caught again. Like I said, I'm going to keep on exposing him because this needs to stop. In the namesake of chasing a dollar, in the name sake of using Tupac's name from that perspective. And not only that, but just so disrespectfully, like, you know, Tupac told me, Tupac told me to shoot him, once again, he's trying to make it seem like he was endearing to Tupac Shakur when Tupac really didn't mess with him like that. Reggie was playing both sides of the fence each and every way and each and every day on death row when he was a police officer. Even now he wants to, oh, my homie this, that, but then, then he want to sit down with the police and talk about, how, he doesn't follow the street code and all of this, that, and the other, but then sit there and say Frank Alexander snitched or bitched out on him based on the fact that Frank wouldn't agree to accept the fact to lie to investigators in regards to Orlando snatching Tupac's chain at the MGM Grand. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. called Frank Alexander a snitch, but then went on ABC News and said what? When he went to the grand jury, the guy asked him, so why did you testify at the grand jury? He said, number one, because I was subpoenaed. He said, number two, I don't live by the gangbang code. I don't live by none of that. Well, if he didn't live by the code, then how was Frank Alexander a snitch for not going along with him in the lie that to say that Orlando Anderson snatched Tupac's chain? You see what I'm saying? He's a hypocrite. He's a liar. He's a snake. He's all of those things. And you see right here that story involving Tupac Shakur allegedly telling him to shoot anybody is pure fiction. Because first it was Keith E.D., then it was Biggie, and now it's C. Gutter. Your boy DELRAY, straight game.